Think your phone only listens to what you say? Think again. In reality, every tap, swipe, and movement you make paints a digital portrait of your life. It's a portrait most people don't even realize they're creating, one built silently in the background as you go about your day. What you speak out loud is only a tiny piece of the story. Your real digital identity is shaped by everything you do without noticing. Every time your thumb glides across the screen or your device vibrates with a notification, another piece of this invisible puzzle is added. These fragments come together to form what experts call a digital shadow, a silent but incredibly detailed map of who you are. It's deeper, more revealing, and far more permanent than any audio recording could ever be. Most people assume their phones are passive tools, activated only when used directly. The truth is more unsettling. Our devices observe constantly, analyzing patterns so subtle we often never question them. From the moment you wake up and check the time to the instant you set your alarm at night, your phone is recording behavioral signals. This shadow grows with every interaction. It learns your daily routine, the places you visit, the mood swings reflected in your scrolling habits, and even the times of day when you're most vulnerable to certain messages. These aren't random pieces of data. They're clues that reveal how you think, act, and react. Unlike spoken words, which disappear after being heard, digital traces are persistent. They remain stored, often indefinitely, ready to be analyzed, shared, or sold. Your morning commute, your favorite news sources, the content you linger on. For half a second, every detail becomes part of a profile that evolves over time. Apps you barely think about, like weather widgets or step counters, feed into this growing database. Even your offline moments, how long your screen stays dark, how quickly you respond to messages, or the specific times you tend to unlock your phone, get transformed into valuable insights. The concerning part is how invisible this process is. You don't see your digital shadow being built. You don't get alerts telling you what's being learned. It all happens quietly, hidden beneath the convenience of modern technology. Yet the effect is profound and far-reaching. What's being created isn't just a history of your actions, it's a prediction engine. Your devices don't just know what you did, they can anticipate what you'll do next. Companies use these predictive models to customize ads, push notifications, and content streams designed to influence your behavior at the perfect moment. This is the heart of behavioral profiling. It studies not just what you say, but how you behave. It detects the rhythm of your life. When you shop, when you scroll, when you relax, and when you're most likely to be persuaded. Neither microphones nor cameras are necessary. Your habits speak louder than your words. These predictions can reveal your interests, your insecurities, and even your emotional states. Algorithms silently identify patterns that even you may not be aware of. The products you're likely to buy, the causes you might support, the messages you're most susceptible to. It's precision built on your own digital exhaust. The danger doesn't come only from hackers or breaches. It emerges from systems you willingly interact with every day. Apps and platforms you trust are often the ones collecting the most intimate details of your behavior because you clicked accept without thinking twice. This quiet observation isn't limited to social media. Even messaging apps that promise privacy still monitor engagement patterns, connection strength, response times, and communication cycles. They may not read your messages, but they can understand your relationships through metadata alone. Metadata is deceptively simple. It doesn't record what you say, but it records when, where, how often, and with whom. And those patterns reveal almost everything about your life. It's a silent language that algorithms understand far better than humans ever could. The illusion of privacy is reinforced by convenience, personalized feeds, instant navigation, predictive text, and tailored ads create an experience so smooth we rarely stop to question the cost. But every convenience requires data, and every data point deepens the profile built around you. We like to believe our devices are personal spaces, extensions of our private lives. In reality, they are gateways into a system of constant observation, a system where your behavior becomes currency, traded and analyzed across networks you never see. The most alarming part is how normalized this has become. Surveillance isn't shocking anymore, it's expected. Apps ask for permissions, websites track cookies, services collect analytics. Over time, this constant data flow becomes background noise, and we stop noticing it altogether. But the accumulation of these digital breadcrumbs isn't slow, it's exponential. Each year, the amount of data captured per user multiplies. Every tap, every GPS ping, every push notification adds to a growing mountain of information. Small bits of data that mean nothing alone become incredibly powerful when combined. Your entire lifestyle can be reconstructed from these fragments. What seems insignificant, scroll time, search history, app usage, forms patterns that reveal your behavior with startling accuracy. The longer you use technology, the more complete your digital portrait becomes. Devices monitor trends, changes, and long-term habits. They can detect shifts in your mood, lifestyle, or interests long before you consciously realize them. This isn't just observation, it's analysis. Your data isn't simply stored. It's interpreted. Algorithms turn raw actions into insights, insights into patterns, and patterns into predictions. These predictions influence what you see, what you click, and ultimately how you think. You are not just using technology. Technology is studying you, and as your digital footprint grows, so does the power of those who control it. Your preferences become profits. Your habits become leverage. Your vulnerabilities become opportunities for manipulation. This is why understanding your digital shadow isn't just smart, it's essential. Because in a world where privacy is no longer a default, awareness becomes your first line of defense. Your phone may not be listening to every word, but it is tracking every action. And those actions reveal far more than you ever imagined. Your digital life is bigger, deeper, and more revealing than your physical one. And recognizing that reality is the only way to regain control in a world where the line between convenience and surveillance grows thinner every day. In today's world, we often underestimate the power of our digital presence. We imagine our privacy being breached in dramatic ways through hacked microphones or intercepted conversations. But the truth is far quieter and far more revealing. The sum of our everyday interactions paints a portrait more intimate than anything we could ever say aloud. Each gesture, search, and notification becomes a piece of a puzzle that maps our identity with astonishing accuracy. Technology, despite its sleek appearance and helpful design, is far from neutral. Every device we carry, every platform we join, and every algorithm we interact with is built with intent. That intent may be to assist, entertain, inform, or connect, but it also carries the potential to influence, persuade, and shape us in ways we do not always recognize. These tools are powerful, and their impact extends far beyond convenience. With such immense capability comes an equally immense ethical responsibility. Innovation alone is not enough. Those who create digital systems must consider the consequences of their designs, not just on markets and industries, but on individuals, on society, and on the very fabric of how people live and think. Each technological advance echoes across millions of lives. Modern systems do more than collect information. They interpret human behavior. They form assumptions. They make predictions. And sometimes those predictions shape the opportunities presented to us, the content we see, and even the decisions we believe are our own. Without ethical guidance, these systems can drift into practices that harm more than they help. When data is misused or even used carelessly, the consequences are profound. Privacy violations, manipulative design, biased outcomes, and the erosion of trust can follow. These aren't abstract risks. They are real, measurable impacts that affect jobs, relationships, perceptions, and freedoms. Ethical responsibility in technology is not simply about preventing damage. It is about building systems rooted in transparency, fairness, and accountability. It asks creators to design with integrity, to respect the people who rely on their tools, and to ensure that users can understand in plain terms how they are being analyzed or influenced. Part of this responsibility lies in bridging the awareness gap. Users often operate in a digital world they cannot fully see. Algorithms run silently in the background. Data flows invisibly between services. Decisions are made by processes hidden behind polished interfaces. Innovators must illuminate these hidden layers, giving people clarity instead of confusion, control instead of complacency. True ethical design requires anticipating the future, not just reacting to the present. Technology evolves far faster than public understanding or government policy. This makes developers not only architects but also guardians of the systems they create. They must guide this rapid change with foresight and caution. This responsibility is not theoretical. It affects how millions of people live their daily lives. The way data is collected, interpreted, and used can uplift or exploit. It can educate or mislead. It can empower individuals or quietly strip them of autonomy without their awareness. The stakes are high because the impact is enormous. Balancing innovation with accountability is one of the greatest ethical challenges of our time. Every design decision carries weight, from how a user interface nudges behavior to how an algorithm prioritizes information, failing to consider. The moral dimension can turn tools of empowerment into tools of manipulation. Trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. A single breach or misuse of data can permanently damage relationships between companies and users. That is why ethics cannot be a secondary feature. It must be a core foundation of modern technology. But ethics alone are not enough. Awareness is equally essential. Awareness is the first line of defense in a digital era dominated by data, automation, and observation. The more we understand how technology tracks and interprets our actions, the more power we reclaim over our own lives. This awareness is not about fear or paranoia. It is about clarity, seeing the systems around us with open eyes and informed minds. It allows us to make choices intentionally rather than automatically. It transforms us from passive consumers into active participants.